Because of graduation, 12 players are gone from the St. John's Blue Devils, but the team's youth means a whole lot of excitement.
I think we got a great bunch of kids out there that can do some things that we ask them to do. Their attitudes are tremendous, and if they carry that over with, we have some ability on this team. Now, it's young, but the ability that we have, if they develop early and come through, then we think we're going to be right in the midst of things.
I can expect a hard defense come from the Blue Devils this year because I've been here for 4 years, and it's the best team I've seen as early as we are. It's the best team I've seen in a long time come out of us.
Coach Harley is extremely satisfied with the way things have gone at practice so far. He's also very excited about second-year starter and sophomore starting quarterback.
It's going to be a lot of pressure put on me since I'm starting quarterback this year. We should have a pretty good offense this year. Pretty good big man this year. Can block pretty well this year.
He's a sophomore. He's got to learn a little bit more. We got to help him out a little bit. But he's a good quarterback all around.
We can't expect great things from him this year, but the things we're asking him to do is just go out there and don't get us beat. Don't make the mistakes that hurt us and all. Just do the things we ask him to do, and if he can do those things, we're going to be okay.
If he stays healthy, Hudson will only get better, and so will the Blue Devils. In Darlington, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Three Region 8 2A teams were represented at today's kickoff presser. The coaches agree that youth is the overwhelming characteristic. For Ainer, only 8 starters return, but at the key positions.
We do have a quarterback that we feel like that, as a Daniel Peavy, as a junior, it's going to be a very good player for us. Probably the biggest weapon that we return offensively are our 2 halfbacks and our place kicker.
And talking about youth, it also hit the coaching ranks. Milton Gore is the new man at North Myrtle Beach, and he's one of the few that just tells it like it is.
I can't tell you what to expect. I don't know myself. I just know that we have about 26 kids out there that's working hard as hard as they can and doing everything that they can do to try to be a successful football team.
As they all try to be successful, the Lions almost always are. And this year, Loris's seniors are quite valuable on and off the field.
We're blessed with 5 seniors, which is good and bad. The good part is homecoming's going to last 3 minutes. The bad part is none of them have ever played football before.
And don't let them fool you. Loris should be at the top once again. In Conway, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. A popular spot for the Bulldogs, the watering holes. With temperatures rising well into the 90s, the heat is a major concern.
Right now, we haven't had any problem with cramps. We haven't had any problem with being overheated. So hopefully, giving them enough breaks, working them hard during the time they're on the field, they'll get the condition that we want them in.
Now that most teams are in pads, that heat that most coaches feared, well, it's back. You can feel it here in Bulldog country. But that heat's not going to affect the new system at Marlboro County.
In the past, we've had some big people, and we weren't quite as quick, but we should be a lot quicker this year, although we're not as big as we've been in the past. We've got some good athletes. We don't have as many as we've had in the past, but the work ethic has been real good with this group. They've worked hard. I've been pleased with them so far, and I look for good things out of them.
Those good things start on the side of the ball that makes winners.
I feel pretty good about our defense. That probably is the best part of our football team right now. We've got good, skilled people over there in the secondary.
And that defense will be the key in region play. Reporting from Bennettsville, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Following Davey Allison's death, the Haviland Ford needed a driver. Into the picture comes Lake Speed, and the transition couldn't be much better.
It's been remarkably smooth, actually. Robert Yates and Larry McReynolds, the crew chief there, have just been real supportive with me and understanding, and we're communicating real well. And you know, it's unbelievable. We hit the road running.
Nothing that can ever take the place of Davey, but Lake Speed's been the best thing that's happened to our team sometime now.
Speed knows he's not the replacement for Davey. It's just a different team for him, and Lake is a new teammate for the rest.
When we're crawling the car, you just have to put all the emotional stuff behind you and just go out there and do the best job you can do, and that's what we've tried to do for them. Try to be supportive and understanding, but at the same time business-like when we get behind the steering wheel.
We know what the Haviland Ford can do, a very fast car. Now with a proven driver like Lake Speed, things have gone well the past couple of weeks. And in a couple more weeks when they return to Darlington, Lake Speed's got all kinds of confidence.
I know he's won a race here, but even looking back in the past when he drove Hoss Ellington's car here, or even his own, this is a place that he really loves to race here.
So that makes it a whole lot better, there's no question, because obviously I know what field I'm hunting for and what it takes to win the race here.
In Darlington, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. "1992 might have been the beginning of a dynasty in Dillon. Year number 1 for Jackie Hayes proved he's a winner.
They got spoiled last year. We came in, and I thought our kids and coaches did an outstanding job last year, and they expect to win, win big here every year.
Last season, Hartsville owned Region 5 4A. This season, well, the Dillon Wildcats seem to have all the talent. That's what everybody's saying. But Coach Hayes is no different than all the rest. He kind of downplays it.
I don't know if you can expect much right now. We're not very good. We got a lot of work to do. Potential's there, but we're just not there yet.
Leading the Wildcats at quarterback is junior Theo Baker, with senior Eric Hargrove and junior Adrian Benjamin starting in the backfield. Well, you could say there's no shortage of quickness.
We're a lot better than we were in the past. We've probably got more team speed than we have in a while, but we still got a lot of work to do, especially in that position, too. Right now, the defense is way ahead of everything we're trying to do, and usually, defense stays ahead of the offense, and we're going to depend on them a lot again this year.
And that first test will come tomorrow night at Lakeview. In Dillon, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. As the Gamecocks enter the '93 season, hopes are high, and the team is counting on the momentum from last year's finish.
It's one we're looking forward to, and our players are excited about going, and we're going with all intentions of coming in, of winning and coming out of there feeling real good about our football team.
Yeah, I get pretty excited no matter where we play. If we played in the practice field, I'd be ready to go. But
of course it's exciting. It's the very first game of the 1993 season for both teams. It's going to be a true test for both teams, and it's also going to be a true test for the two top quarterbacks in the SEC, Eric Zier over at Georgia and the Gamecocks' Steve Tannehill.
He statistically beats me and we win. In the end, I really, won. I'm just looking forward to helping my team win. I'm not really worried about the Zier-Tannehill matchup.
Great competitors. Both are adequate. They throw that football and hit the target. They both have great vision. They see the defense real well. I think that Coach Goff mentioned they make people around them play better, and that's certainly true.
And let's face it, that's what the Gamecocks are banking on, the leadership of the sophomore sensation. In Columbia, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Both teams come into this game with 1 win and no losses, so obviously it's still early in the season. Kind of time for players to log some minutes and just get better.
We still have some people that are inexperienced in some spots. Now a lot of times after you've practiced 4 weeks and played 1 game, they say, well, they're not inexperienced anymore. But I think some of them are still learning.
I'd like to see us hit a little harder and play a little more intense on defense, and offensively be more diverse. Last game we ran the ball every play except for 6. We need to be more diverse for the rest of the season.
I'll tell you what, for Myrtle Beach and Socastee, this is one of those early non-conference games to kind of work out the woes. But that word rivalry has a lot to do with it, and both teams want those bragging rights in Horry County.
It's very important to our school and our community. It's very important to me. I'm a Socastee alumnus, and I want to win this game as bad as anybody probably on earth. Last year was a big happening for us, but we've never beat them at home.
It's a situation, the schools are very close to one another, and a lot of our students know their students, and it's good for high school football, I think. The only thing I'd like to have the gate. If Socastee's willing to give us part of that, we'd be happy to take it.
Well, I don't know about the gate part, but I do know that being TV 15's Game of the Week, these two schools will get some great exposure.
Just appreciate, you know, the station taking the time to do these, because I think it does continue to create an interest in high school football, and it's great exposure for the schools.
We have an outstanding school here, academically and athletically, and last year we had over 450 kids in our school out participating in athletics, and there's a lot of good things going on here, and anytime that our school can get publicity, I think it's great.
Reporting in Horry County, Ken Slats, 15 Sports.
Inside the 15-yard line.
The streak continues. The Gamecocks have won 6 of 7 with Tannehill as a starter. Saturday, he engineered the best drive yet, 55 yards in just over 2 minutes, capped off by Brandon Bennett's 1-yard score.
Touchdown, South Carolina!
He came in the huddle smiling, said, you know, let's play. We're not out of this yet. We do this every day in practice. We work on 2-minute-0. And, I mean, just the confidence in him makes you want to work harder.
We went out for that last 55 yards, and in the huddle, everyone was like, you know, we're going to win. We're going to win. And I think that's a tribute to what we did last year and how much confidence we have in ourselves this year.
With the win over Georgia, the Gamecocks proved that they deserve their 19th ranking. The only major mistakes that they made were 2 big 15-yard penalties for celebrating in the end zone, something the known celebrant Steve Tannehill took to the sidelines.
Coach Wilkins was talking to me, and he's like, you know, we got 2 15-yard penalties, and I said, and neither one was for me.
Certainly, for instance, Corey, first play he ever played, he catches a long pass for a touchdown against the University of Georgia, where he's from. You know, I expect him to be happy. I don't want him to break the rules and all.
You got a lot of players that haven't played before, and if they do something good, they're going to want to celebrate. And how could you really say that, you know, they're celebrating too much?
As long as the Gamecocks keep winning, let the celebration continue. In Columbia, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Clemson finished 1992 6th in the nation in rushing. The Tigers managed only 123 yards in Game 1 of 93. A repeat performance this Saturday won't cut it.
I was frustrated Saturday, but once we watched the film yesterday and I looked at it and I saw that we was only a step or 2 away from breaking a lot of big runs, you know.
We think that we've got some talent and we think we've got some ability and that we're going to try to execute, you know, our game plan better than they execute theirs. So we'll try to figure out what we can do.
And the best is what the Tigers must do in Tallahassee. Nobody's ranked higher than the Seminoles.
Number one, it's just on paper, you know. They play good, you know, they are 2-0. You know, everybody seems to think they're number one. But I think Clemson is the number 1 team in the nation. It's just a matter of who votes you there. And
we respect their number 1 ranking because somebody's got to be ranked up there number 1. At the same time, that's why we play the game on Saturday.
To know the basic fact is to just about know it all. Florida State is the top-ranked team in the country. Their defense is well above average. Their offense is awesome.
This team here, with Charlie Ward operating the way he is and with the strength and the balance they have, is darn good. And I don't know that any has, you know, has had more weapons really than what they do right now.
In Clemson, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. It's 4A against 3A, but that doesn't always mean the bigger the better.
I tell you, they play tough football. You know, they're just, they come after you and they keep coming and they keep coming and they play both ways and they're real aggressive. They don't usually make a lot of mistakes.
You know, our execution, we need some work on that, and we continue to work on it with repetition and hope we get better. We're working hard on fundamentals, tackling and blocking and execution.
The final touches here at the Marion football field are pretty much over with, just adding a couple markers. The field looks in great shape. They're ready to go. As for the Swamp Fox, well, their main goal, stop the wing T.
We're going to try to read it and try to stay away from penetration. I know lots of people think penetration might be the key to stopping it, but you know, when they take line splits at 6 inches, there's not too many places where you can penetrate.
We had 3 backs that were all returning, Ron Bristow, Gerard Days, and Torrey Williams, and they're doing a great job. Justin's doing a good job running the offense, hiding the ball, making his fakes, carrying out his fakes, and all of those things are important in the wing T, and we're doing a good job right now.
If last year's thrilling 19-16 win by Marion is any hint to come, this Friday's game of the week will be a dandy. Ken Slats reporting 15 Sports. The Seminoles have scored 87 points in road wins over Kansas and Duke. Don't think this offense will sputter.
They're a team that certainly is playing at midseason form after these 2 games, and so it's a real challenge. They have an excellent football team, and I know they'll be ready playing their first home game finally.
It's just a privilege to play against them because not only we play in Tallahassee. We overcome all that, we'll be a pretty good team.
While the Clemson Tigers will have their hands full facing Florida State, the top-ranked team in the nation, a coach that used to walk this practice field, Danny Ford and his Arkansas Razorbacks, will be taking on the Gamecocks.
It's got to be about South Carolina and Arkansas to be a matter about Coach Ford. I just have great respect for him. I think he's a fine football coach, and it's a challenge to go try to coach against his football team.
Will Steve Tannehill start? You betcha. And this sophomore brings a lot of confidence to this top 20 team.
I think now that we're 19th ranked, no one has to look at me. Everyone knows we have a good team. So I think, I've helped the team a little bit, but I think we've helped ourselves in playing good football.
They're coming off a big win. That quarterback, I think he's 7-1 right now. That's his record. And I know it's going to be a tough ball game, a real tough ball game.